Hello and welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. This is Vicky, and this week's episode, I'm actually going to be pulling out my nerdish pride hat and talking to you / reading to you a research paper that I was able to write spring semester of this year regarding the information and details on a medically supervised fasting method as a tool. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicky Sharon, and thank you for joining me. All right, so my awesome paper that I'm super proud of from a class I did last spring semester this year, talking about medically supervised fasting as a tool. I'm going to read that for you, so I hope you appreciate this as much as I do. Fasting, when mentioned to the average person, is often assumed to be deliberate starvation, when in fact it is the most time-honored and widely utilized healing method in the world. Fasting, by definition, is the deliberate abstention of food consumption with an underlying purpose. Presently, fasting can be done for various reasons, including spiritual, cultural, or therapeutic purposes. Origins of fasting date back to at least the 5th century BCE under advisory from the Greek physician Hippocrates, when patients would present with certain symptoms of illness. Fasting was seen as a natural and instinctive part of the recovery process in healing patients, since the effect of some diseases and illnesses was loss of appetite. This practice of natural bodily healing coincided with the seasons of the year. The seasons of summer and fall were for the reaping of the harvest and the feasting times that followed. This balanced out the times of famine in the winter and spring seasons when food supplies were scarce. Through our human evolution, we have evolved to allow for the times of a bountiful harvest from the crops grown and the scarcity that followed. With the increase of commercialism, advertisements, marketing of food items over time in our history, we were falsely led to believe that we needed to continuously eat from sunrise to sunset. This is a significant contributing factor to our global obesity epidemic and the common presence of metabolic disorders. Currently, with more attention to this restorative and intuitive healing modality, more medical professionals are advocating for the use of fasting for their patients to alleviate, correct, or heal from within by the voluntary abstention of food. Most commonly, chiropractic physicians, naturopathic physicians, and some allopathic physicians have been recommending their patients to consider utilizing a method of fasting for overall health. Fasting as a tool can be implemented on a daily basis as intermittent, alternative on some days, or for extended periods of time on a water-only fast. Fasting as a cultural context, as previously discussed, is part of our innate behavior and the reason why breakfast is so named. When we wake up from sleep, the first meal we consume breaks the fast that we were in while we were sleeping. In modern practice use, fasting as a tool is now very commonly used in diet culture in order to shed excess weight. However, despite being a deeply rooted practice in history, fasting provides many additional naturopathic and Ayurvedic benefits beyond the superficial desires of being at a smaller body size. Fasting provides the patient to a natural, reflex-like switch to occur within the body to allow stored adipose tissue to be converted to fuel for the body and, in turn, causes weight loss. However, there have been many additional healing benefits that also take place within the body when adopting this naturopathic practice, like treating patients who have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancers, inflammatory conditions, as well as obesity and metabolic disorders. A naturopathic, Ayurvedic, or chiropractic practitioner can advocate fasting as a healing modality for their patients and can easily be integrated into their lifestyle, because it should be treated as a tool and simply not a dietary restriction in their everyday activities. The voluntary choice to delay the first meal of the day can be difficult to start with patients because hunger is a learned response, and that habit is instilled within us from a very early age. However, it is important to become aware of the healing and overall bodily reset that is taking place within ourselves, down to a cellular level. As a practitioner and advocate for utilizing fasting as a healing modality for their patients, it's essential to get thorough medical background screening from the patient for any contraindications. Although this tool can be integrated for many patients for various health ailments, there are certain people that should not utilize fasting in certain stages of their lives. Young children, pregnant women, and many elderly patients are examples of individuals who may have increased risk factors that would limit their ability to reap the full benefits of implementing fasting as a regimen into their lifestyle. Fasting as a tool in its various forms and methods has recently been gaining validity and recognition among many allopathic and traditional practitioners outside complementary medicine. However, it is very commonly met with still many stigmas and feelings of disdain towards this implementation of the lifestyle in their patients because of preconceived notions towards naturopathic and Ayurvedic healing methods in general. The increase in popularity, however, is also met with an increase in scholarly data to support the validity of using the different forms of fasting, allowing it to further pick up steam and provide incredible benefits for their patients, again, well beyond the desire to lose that excess weight. According to the research and data that continues to be provided with discussing the benefits of implementation in utilizing fasting as a healing modality, fasting works because it activates a fasting-induced neuroendocrine and hormetic stress response within the body. Fasting reduces mitochondrial oxidative stress, reduces signs of aging, and promotes autophagy within the body. Deep and cellular cleansing can be accessed within the patient, assisting in the total bodily healing in various health ailments previously mentioned. Many traditional Western medicine physicians have been recognizing the results of accessing this state of autophagy within their patients and have been able to adjust previously prescribed medications after seeing biomarkers improved. Because of this natural healing modality still faces some scrutiny within the Western medical community, it is not likely there will be any specific fasting current procedural terminology or CPT code that will allow for insurance and medical billing or reimbursement for general practitioners. Despite this, there are still methods where this can be utilized in a traditional medical office setting, like chiropractic, for example, where there would be medically supervised consultation services, in addition to the thorough background screening that must take place for each patient before a proper fasting method is determined. In conclusion, this field and expertise with using fasting as a tool for restoring health, as I have seen and experienced firsthand, continues to grow and evolve with time. Fasting as a healing modality, when advocated by a licensed medical professional for their patients, can be incredibly life-changing. From the surface, fasting is very commonly seen and touted as a glamorous and easy method to lose excess weight. But the deep cellular restorative benefits of implementation of this tool can drastically change the life path and total health bodily experience of the patient. Because of its origins and common practices in many religions, fasting should be treated as a total bodily restorative tool. Many religions around the world know and understand, and many religious figures have documented experiences with implementations of fasting, like Buddha, Jesus Christ, and Muhammad. My future intentions, however, are to be a licensed practitioner and a strong advocate and boisterous example of the implementation of this modality as a life-changing tool. I have personally been able to successfully shed and maintain an over 200-pound weight loss since discovering fasting in 2018. By my personal implementation of fasting as a lifestyle, I am proud of the accomplishments I have been able to achieve and have documented my journey to share with others while educating myself thoroughly on the process itself. I feel there is incredible power and validity to this modality to change the lives of others in so many ways outside the desire to shed excess weight. Of course, when presented with a patient who is expressing their disdain with the size and weight they have on their person, it is important to educate the patient on how fasting can be beneficial to them. But it's also just as important for them to understand the behavioral components that got them to the weight that caused their desire to need to change. In becoming an advocate and practitioner for this lifestyle and tool, it will be essential to continue to learn and grow my skill set by learning how to assist patients with identifying and repairing behavioral and psychological components related to eating disorders and hormonally driven attitudes and behaviors. Because of the deep underlying issues that are very commonly present in patients who express the desire to shed weight, there may be additional psychological interventions or screenings that may need to take place by cognitive behavioral therapists so that once the weight loss goals are achieved, the weight continues to stay at a healthy level for the rest of their lives. Because as I have experienced, the mindset that I currently have has drastically improved since first discovering this tool. I understood that my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs had to change and evolve along this journey, and this, I confidently feel, is a permanent change in me that I will keep for the rest of my life, and I am certain that others can achieve as well. Yes. All the references list that I have with the respected information will be in the notes section of this podcast. If you enjoyed this type of podcast, please let me know. I greatly appreciate all the feedback I continue to receive, the ratings, the comments, those reviews that I get on my business page, The Fasting Focused Lifestyle on Facebook, as well as for my website and both of the podcast outlets that I have with Apple and with Spotify. I see the feedback, and y'all, I'm just giving you a great big hug of gratitude and thanks and appreciation. I greatly appreciate the opportunity and outlet that I have with sharing my journey so candidly and my evolution through discovering what I can utilize with not just my journey, but sharing how my journey can inspire change in others. And that's what I see as truly beautiful and providing a positive influence on the world, and hoping that somebody else out there takes a little grain of inspiration and is able to implement change into their lives with something with their weight or size or health that they were maybe struggling with before. Because you can have this. You can have the after that you want if you're willing to consistently show up and work for it. If you need supportive coaching on your fasting journey, I'm here. I care, and I know you can succeed. thefastingfocusedlifestyle.com, and that is the best spot for my booking calendar. And I can't wait to get in touch with you to cheer for you, because I know you can do it one step at a time, one habit at a time, one breath at a time, because you got this. You absolutely got this. As always, I believe in you, even if you don't. Take care. The Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2022. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.